What's going on, guys? We need to talk. And more specifically, we need to talk about cryptocurrencies and Ethereum. After hearing the news of Facebook changing its name to Meta, Snoop Dogg developing its own Snoopverse, making private concerts, and somebody investing $500,000 just to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor in the metaverse, we need to talk about cryptocurrencies and what is making all this possible. We've all heard about Bitcoin and Ethereum to be the main cryptocurrencies in the market. And the purpose of this video is to clarify what Ethereum is, why it is such a big deal, its main difference with Bitcoin, and if it's a viable investment or not. The idea is to grab these concepts and explain them in the most simple possible way. Ethereum is a blockchain platform with its own cryptocurrency called Ether and its own programming language called Solidity. Ethereum has the ability to create smart contracts on the blockchain. So what are smart contracts, you may ask? So imagine you want to buy a white goose feather pillow on Amazon.com. After checking it out, the first thing you gotta do is go to Amazon.com, choose your product, and then pay for it. If you pay for the product, then Amazon will ship it to you. If you don't pay for the product, then Amazon will not ship it to you. Solidity, which is Ethereum's language, is what allows programmers to build this kind of logic. And instead of being Amazon, it can be in a decentralized blockchain. So again, bear with me because I'm trying to explain these concepts as simple as possible so even my grandma would be able to understand them. So let's take a step back on what is a blockchain platform. We can explain this by telling a quick story. Imagine that you're tired of your computer because it is running extremely slow and you go to Apple to buy a new Mac. And you don't want any Mac, you want the MacBook Pro 16-inch with 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, 32 GB of unified memory, and 1 TB of solid-state drive storage. And these cost $3,499. When you buy a computer and send money to Apple, the bank, which is the intermediary, is recording that transaction. When you perform that payment, the bank checks that you have the money to pay for it, and then it sends that money to Apple. In this case, everything was centralized. The bank had to have access to your funds, and Apple had to check if the funds were received. The blockchain technology allows decentralization, meaning that instead of having just one database with the records of different transactions in your bank, you may have a network of computers. That means multiple computers, and each of them have a copy of the status of your account. So anytime a transaction happens, each of those computers will record everything that is going on. So that means instead of having just one entity controlling and tracking everything that happens to your bank account, all these computers will talk to each other and make sure that all your transactions match, making it more secure because if a hacker would get into the bank's systems, then they would be able to get all the information they need to hack and to commit fraud. On the other hand, in order for someone to commit fraud with this network of computers, then they would have to get into the majority of these computers and then change all the data in the majority of the network. And this is much less likely to happen because all this information is encrypted. So what makes Ethereum special is its ability to create smart contracts, meaning that you would be able to create and facilitate transactions without the need of an intermediary. And that is the reason why so many companies are being created lately with the technology of the blockchain to be able to create decentralized applications and decentralized real-world case scenarios. Now, what is the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin? So these are some of their similarities. First, Ethereum is the second most popular digital token after Bitcoin with a market cap of $475 billion. So just to give you an idea, Ethereum is worth more than JP Morgan Chase, because JP Morgan has a market capitalization of $461 billion. It is also worth more than Home Depot, because Home Depot has a market cap of $400 billion, and Procter & Gamble with a market cap of $381 billion. Okay, so I digressed a little bit. So what is the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin? First, let's touch on the similarities. First of all, they're both based on the blockchain technology, and they can be traded on exchanges, and they have their own wallets, and they are, of course, decentralized because they are based on the blockchain technology. On one hand, Bitcoin was created by a mysterious person called Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009, and its main purpose was to create a currency that was secure and not controlled by any central authority, just like the dollar, which is controlled by the Federal Reserve. So Bitcoin's main purpose is to serve as a currency and to store value such as an alternative to gold. On the other hand, Ethereum was launched in 2015, and its main purpose is to use the blockchain technology to deploy smart contracts and decentralized applications. And as previously mentioned, it uses Ether, which is what we normally trade on the exchanges, to power these applications. So they basically have different purposes and they technically do not compete with each other. But because they are the most valuable cryptocurrency at the moment, people are comparing them a lot. And then finally, is Ether a good or a viable investment? First of all, it is very important to mention, since cryptocurrencies are a very new technology, the markets are very volatile, because people are not sure where these technologies are going to go or how big the market it's going to be for these new technologies. As you can see, there have been a lot of up and downs for Ethereum, and the prices may change extremely fast. And of course, you should never invest money in cryptocurrencies that you cannot afford to lose. However, as more and more people start to use Ethereum to build decentralized applications, then more transactions are going to happen in the Ethereum ecosystem, increasing the demand for Ether. If you believe that more people are going to use Ethereum as a platform for decentralized contracts, then it can be a great investment. Again, as everything in the markets, all depends on demand and supply. It is also important to mention that there are other competitors to Ethereum, such as Solana. As a Bloomberg journalist, it has the potential to be a long-term rival for Ethereum. Some of the advantages of Solana is that it beats Ethereum in the number of transactions per second, making it a cheaper alternative to make transactions on the blockchain. If you would like to learn more about personal finance, cryptocurrencies, don't forget to subscribe, to smash that like button so you get notifications every time I release a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.